Good morning. I'm Jay Schechter, partner with SingerXenos Wealth Management. SingerXenos is one of the largest wealth management firms based in South Florida with over $1.2 billion of assets under management. For over 27 years, we've helped our clients make difficult decisions involving investment management, tax planning, estate planning, and insurance planning. This morning, we're presenting a seminar on how to avoid Ponzi schemes. Please enjoy the seminar. Every week we seem to read about the next fraud case, the next Ponzi scheme. These schemes tend to affect both naive investors as well as very sophisticated investors. And we're shocked by the audacity of these fraudsters. They have tremendously sophisticated technological tools today to use. They can use the web, they can steal information by email, they can create incredibly sophisticated documents with modern printers, and as a result they carry out some very devious schemes. But we too have tools to combat the fraud, and that's facts, common sense, and also the web in terms of searching for information about whoever somebody is going to get into an investment deal with.
I got a paper of all the investments, and the weakest investment was 67%, and the best investment you get 207% return per year. Now you could imagine there's almost no risk. Banks are paying 0.5% or 1%. So how is it that people put good money in, that people checked it out, that it happened? You couldn't see anything. Everything was confidential. You couldn't see the names. Everything's crossed out. He gets them to look and see what they don't have. If you had a house, he shows you a bigger house. If you have a bigger house, he shows you he has 2 houses. If you have a boat, he shows you he's got a bigger boat. He gets people to dream that they could have what he has, or what he pretended he has. So he's always getting you to focus on what you don't have. And when you see the governor is vouching for him, when you see that he's on the 4th District Court of Appeals Judicial Nominating Committee, that he's on the governor's kitchen cabinet, that he's on the police advisory committee, that everybody is vouching for him, you could say, you know what, if I get caught, I'm going to say, look, just like the governor said he's good, just like he's appointing judges and he's doing this.
The first is promise of outsized returns. If the projected returns are too good to be true, if they're much higher than similar investment opportunities that exist at that time, then you have to be wary. Nobody gets caught up in a Ponzi scheme that's offering 2% annualized returns. Unusually consistent returns. If the investment that's being offered you claims to give the extremely consistent return weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, and this has gone on for a very long period of time, I'd look at it with a jaundiced eye. It's not a realistic investment. The third is no third-party custodian. For example, at SingerXenos, our clients have accounts in their own names in a custodian such as Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade. They can go online, they can look at their accounts, they can see what trades are being made. There's a third party that's confirming what's going on, and it's real. In almost all of these Ponzi schemes, there is no third-party custodian. The fraudsters have complete control of the money, and they control the accounts, and there is no third-party verification that anything that's going on is real. Fourth, they have complete power of attorney over the money, which means that they can take money out of the accounts anytime they want. For our clients, we use what's called a limited power of attorney. We can make trades in the account, we can make investments, but we can't just take money out of the account, and that's a protection for our client. Fifth is unrealistic investment thesis. A common litmus test, a strategy that's really not viable, that just logically doesn't make sense. An example, somebody recently came to us with an investment opportunity that involved testing for medical facilities. And the amount that was being claimed to have been charged for these tests was very easily verified through other doctors and other medical clinics that we have connections with. And they were claiming to be receiving $1,500 per test when the average doctor was receiving $150 per test. and they claimed that they were going to be doing thousands upon thousands of these tests, and again, a very unrealistic scenario. And finally, one of the keys to all of these cases is a social affinity, a claim by the investment fraudsters that, we really don't want to take you into the deal. This is a very unique group, but because you know someone, a friend, a relative, for just you, we'll make this exception.
So the Ponzi schemes are not limited to the high-profile cases, but they're everywhere in our society. And there's really two truisms. One is that they're everywhere, and two, they are all going to fail. Because at the end of the day, the person running a Ponzi scheme is not selling widgets. He or she is in the business of raising and recycling monies, and eventually there's a limit to how much money can be raised, and the Ponzi will fall apart. They mostly rely upon an affinity relationship. There is some level of trust, there is some common relationship, and that's necessary to avoid someone doing the additional due diligence that they might ordinarily do, or being more trusting and agreeing that certain facts must be true when they're being misrepresented. By the time you're meeting this Ponzi scheme perpetrator, he or she, and I probably should say he because I've only met one or two she's and all the rest have been he's, but at this point, they've honed their skills. By the time that you meet them, they are as skilled and polished a liar as possible. If one were to meet Claudio Osorio and spend time with Claudio, incredibly polished, incredibly charismatic. Even in prison today, he's charismatic. So, but people like that, it took them time to build this skill level. And there was a time where they were not as effective liars and they got caught. And that is the sort of thing that you will find in a background check.
We were told there were 190 active Ponzi scheme cases being prosecuted currently in the United States, and that was at that time.